Man Detective: The Mystery of D.B. Cooper, America's Greatest Hijacker. The day that sparked a legend, November 24th, 1971. On a rainy Thanksgiving Eve in 1971, a man using the alias Dan Cooper purchased a one-way ticket from Portland, Oregon, to Seattle, Washington, aboard Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305. Wearing a business suit, black tie, and sunglasses, Cooper looked like a typical businessman. But shortly after takeoff, he handed a flight attendant a note claiming he had a bomb in his briefcase. When she cautiously approached him, he opened the case slightly, revealing red cylinders and wires. Cooper calmly outlined his demands: $200,000 in cash for parachutes and a fuel truck ready in Seattle. He warned that if his demands weren't met, he would blow up the plane. The heist. The FBI and airline officials quickly complied. When the plane landed in Seattle, the 36 passengers were released in exchange for the ransom and parachutes. Cooper then ordered the plane to take off again with only a skeleton crew, headed toward Mexico City at a low altitude and slow speed, a method that would allow for a parachute escape. Somewhere over the dense forests of southwestern Washington, near the Mount St. Helens area, Cooper jumped into the night, vanishing into stormy darkness with the cash strapped to him. Despite one of the largest manhunts in U.S. history, no confirmed trace of him was ever found. The investigation. Operation Norjack. Codenamed Norjack, Northwest Hijacking, the FBI launched a sweeping manhunt. They scoured forests, rivers, and interviewed over 800 suspects, but none fit perfectly. They tested fingerprints, analyzed DNA, and even used composite sketches, yet D.B. Cooper became a ghost. The FBI even created a criminal profile. Cooper was likely a military veteran or someone with parachuting experience, possibly in aviation or logistics. But the mystery only deepened with time. Leads and discoveries. 1980. A young boy found $5,800 in decaying $20 bills buried along the Columbia River, matched to Cooper's ransom money. But this only raised more questions. Was this planted? Did Cooper drown? 2000s, 2010s. Numerous documentaries, books, and amateur sleuths reignited interest. DNA on Cooper's tie was tested, and suspects like Robert Rackstraw and Lynn Doyle Cooper, no relation, were heavily examined, but never confirmed. 2016. After 45 years, the FBI officially closed the case, citing a lack of new leads. Cooper became the only person in U.S. aviation history to commit unsolved air piracy. Who was D.B. Cooper? The name D.B. Cooper was a media mistake. Reporters confused Dan Cooper's alias with a suspect named D.B. Cooper who had no connection to the hijacking. But the name stuck, adding to the mythos. Numerous suspects have been proposed. Richard McCoy Jr., who committed a similar hijacking months later. Kenneth Christensen, a former paratrooper and airline employee. Barbara Dayton, a transgender woman and pilot who allegedly confessed to friends. But none were definitively tied to the crime. The legacy. D.B. Cooper has become a folk hero, a mysterious outlaw who hurt no one and escaped into legend. He's inspired books, movies, TV shows, and even songs. The case remains a pop culture fascination, a symbol of mystery and rebellion. His story taps into deep American themes: distrust of authority, love of freedom, and admiration for the clever outsider. Puzzle piece conclusion. A ghost in the sky. Decades later, D.B. Cooper's identity remains a mystery. Was he a brilliant criminal who planned the perfect escape? Or a desperate man who didn't survive the jump? No one knows for sure. What remains is a compelling, unsolved legend, one that continues to captivate generations of amateur detectives and historians alike.